Joining us now is Kristen Weir, MedeAnalytics.
Hello, and welcome to the session, MedeAnalytics and You, Collaboration, Clarity, and Planning for the Future. My name is Kristen Weir. I'm our Senior Vice President of Product. I'm excited to talk to you about how we want to work together in 2020 and into 2021 to have a better collaborative forum and make sure that we are innovating in the way that you want to see us bring value to you guys. So today I want to talk to you about how MedeAnalytics wants to make sure we can continue to solve those most pressing business challenges through our innovation. And it really starts with my team making sure that we fully understand the root of the problem, which of course begins with a dialogue with you, our prestigious clients. In 2021, we're excited that we will be putting into practice new ways to collect your feedback. And of course, we will want to also continue with some of our existing ways as well. So today I will cover some of the communication functionality that's coming soon in MediWorks, and I'll touch on our Innovation Partner Program and our Early Adopter Programs. I'll remind you all or introduce to some of you about our Innovation Exchanges, which will be an exciting component of this 2020 Insight Summit. So let's start with how we want to collect your ideas and feedback right from within MediWorks, our platform. Have you ever had a genius idea or mental note that you forgot to come back to? I know I certainly have. And we want to enable our clients to provide insight on our products while they're using our solutions, from within a workflow, right from within where they see something that they want to give feedback on. So let's dive into what we'll be doing within our MediWorks solution. As many of you know, MedeAnalytics will be releasing new features on a quarterly basis, and we want to continue to improve on those features over time. We'd love to capture your feedback to inform where we should focus our efforts. And we built new functionality into our platform that enables us to gather some contextualized inputs right from where you are interacting within Medi. So in this example, a user is using Chart Builder, and we've launched an input box that can gather the user's feedback on the functionality and have it submitted right to our product team for analysis. So you simply click on the Submit Feedback, enter with free text form right here in the box. Another way that this will work is when you see this little chat bubble anywhere within our products. This indicates functionality where we're seeking your input. So you'd simply click on the icon and submit your feedback here. Now, this is your opportunity to provide feedback from anywhere within our platform that we're seeking your inputs, but the next generation of this will be an enterprise-wide in-app feedback solution that will collect user suggestions and then allow other users to see those submissions and vote, of course, just one time, on items that they also see value in, which really gives our product team a better ability to prioritize. So we'll be launching that enterprise-wide functionality in 2021. I did want to note that all input submissions will be anonymous to other users. So client names and usernames will not be visible as they're looking at other inputs. So the user will just see the input and not the client name or username. Now, we've recognized that sometimes we launch new features or functionality and our users simply aren't aware for one reason or another. They're missing out on that great ability to use the new functionality or that enhancement that we produced. We will be surfacing these valuable insights from within our platform with pop-up messages that inform you. You can simply click on OK, got it. And you'll also find this information in our quarterly release notes, our product guides, and our online help that are available to you again right within our platform. When we do announce these new features, we can also enable this Try It Now functionality, which will guide you through a step-by-step on how to use the new feature. And in this simple example, we're learning about ad hoc forecasting functionality. So step one would be that the user would launch the chart builder, and they select the time series graph. I'll take you to step 3, where it'll have you customize it to your liking. And finally, you'd have the ability to start forecasting. We'd prompt you that your walkthrough is complete. Now the user should feel comfortable starting to use the feature that they just learned about. We'll also give the users the ability to rank or to provide usefulness on a scale of 1 to 5. And we may be collecting this type of feedback on proposed upcoming roadmap items or recently released functionality. Some of you are familiar with this sort of theme from our innovation exchanges, which I'll get to a little bit later. But if it's for one of our roadmap items, we certainly want to see how you prioritize that on a 1 to 5. And then again, if it's recently released functionality, we want to see how useful is this to you. It may be that when we see an input of 1, no interest, or 2, low interest, we want to dig in with the client. We'd be following up to get some feedback if possible from you guys. So stay tuned. We'd love to get your inputs when we have sort of these, please rate us 1 through 5 throughout our solution. That leads me to our next step, talking about our innovation partnerships. And once we've collected all this valuable information from you all, our product team really gets busy with that prioritization. They pull together requirements and acceptance criteria. At times, we know that one of our passionate clients may be the very best party to make sure that we get it right the first time, to make sure that when we release our product, our other clients receive value right out of the gate. And that's when we're seeking out an innovation partner. Sometimes we may see a passionate client in these in the innovation exchanges that we'll talk about later. Other times it may be that we're reaching out through our account management team. So if you ever find that you've seen something in our roadmap, you want to be an innovation partner, definitely want you to reach out to your account manager. But let's dive into what I mean by our innovation partner program. We've had several amazing innovation partners in 2020. Thank you immensely to our clients who worked with us to launch new features and products. Our innovation partner program is where we work closely with these clients to produce new functionality that does not exist today. It's really building from the ground up. And the innovation partner works closely with one of our product managers to produce requirements, to validate that functionality, and to ultimately test the new product. The innovation partner would then become an early adopter, one of the first users of the product, where we'd be further hardening the product functionality and preparing for the general availability of the product. If I dive into the engagement model, when we're really we want to start with a process with a kickoff meeting where the key MedeAnalytics and partner participants will align on items such as the project plan, the engagement model, key milestones, roles and responsibilities, and even just overall expectations throughout the innovation partner program. The Medi product manager will review the use cases with the innovation partner to gain feedback, ask questions, and just really to request additional thoughts from the innovation partner. Then they'll move into a whiteboarding session where they're going to deep dive use cases, have an architectural discussion, look at user experience, and make sure that Medi can solve for the desired outcome. The final step before we begin development is for the product manager to meet with the innovation partner team again, review those final requirements and acceptance criteria. And this is something that the product manager really owns in establishing what our minimally viable product is, and it's fueled by the client feedback that we get. When we begin development, we will invite our innovation partners to review applicable sprint demos and help validate functionality. When development is complete and prior to our early adopter product release, we do have a final meeting with the innovation partner where we review functionality and make sure our requirements and acceptance criteria have been met. And then finally, after we've gone through that process, aligned on the product, we want to align on the overall experience. So the Medi team will meet with that partner, the innovation partner team once again. We'll review the innovation partner program, collect any feedback, room for improvement, suggestions, and then the innovation partner will be transitioned into our early adopter program. That takes me to our early adopter program. So with our early adopters, we've had also several clients be our early adopters throughout 2020. They have been instrumental to our success. So thank you to all of you who've been part of that and been among the first to use a new product or a new feature. It's certainly not always easy being first right out of the gate, but we sincerely appreciate your feedback and then the ongoing usage of our products. I think you will hear about some of our early adopters and some of our marketing campaigns. But when we have an early adopter program, we do need our partners to commit to using the product and providing feedback consistently. This may include sending us screenshots. It may include weekly surveys. It may include bi-weekly meetings with the product team. It's really collecting that user input in a variety of ways, making sure that it's a communication channel that's comfortable for the client as well. We invite our early adopters to be part of several different types of marketing engagements, as I mentioned earlier. It might be a case study, it might be an event speaker. We really want you to share your experience and how you really receive value from this product. So thank you once again to our early adopter clients that we've had in 2020. We have several that we're looking forward to in 2021. So thank you to those of you who are on the docket to be an early adopter for some of our products that are in development right now. Okay. Next, I want to move to our innovation exchanges, which many of our clients have participated in for the last 2 years. This is a fun event where the product team collaborates with all of our client participants in one room to help prioritize our roadmaps. We typically do these outside of COVID anyway, every other quarter in person. We select a location, we try to make it a really fun place. And then on the off quarters, we'll do a virtual event where it's a webinar forum. But when I dive into what it is, for those of you who may not be familiar, our innovation exchange it's a collaborative environment. Our clients share their experiences. They really talk through business challenges. Our product managers present features that they're considering for their roadmap. We then have the clients have a really interactive dialogue. If it's how the product managers presented it, and they say, well, that would be great if. We then go down that dialogue. We allow those rabbit holes to happen, but it's where the product team's collecting valuable insights. Then we actually move to where we have our clients vote. So what we'll do is we'll actually issue MedeBucks. In past events, these have looked like real money, so careful when you leave the exchange if you take one of those with you. But we allocate the same amount of money to each client, no matter how many attendees are in the innovation exchange. We then value each of these features that we put out there. So we put a value based on a lot of the business value, based on how long it'll take us to develop it, the cost to Medi. So we value each of these features, and we allow the clients to have a dialogue. I've seen some really great sales efforts out of some of our clients in the past, where they may tap the shoulder of another client in the room and really pitch them on voting on the same thing that they're going to vote on, because they've seen through past experiences that the features that get the highest votes, that's how we prioritize our roadmap. We really bring some of that to fruition, and we've had a lot of that lead to innovation partnerships and early adopter programs where clients who voted on those features were happy to be among the first to use it. But again, it's just a great forum. It's really helpful to the product team. We have a lot of fun. So I invite you and encourage you to be part of that session in our 2020 Insight Summit. We'll be doing that virtually this time, of course, but certainly hope to get back to doing that in person in the future. The last type of collaboration that I want to touch on are just individual product strategy meetings. Typically, these are set up through your account manager. And this is just at any given point in the year when I think that the account manager really says, hey, I think our roadmap would be intriguing to you, or they know that the client wants to have a strategic conversation with our product team. They know that if we're their analytics company, that there are some things we need to work on to bring value for them. So what we'll do is we'll schedule some time, typically on-site if possible, with our clients. We will have the clients share their strategic vision. Sometimes clients will even share their roadmaps. We'll align that with ours. We'll have the product manager then go through their strategic vision, what they have on their roadmap today, how they might reprioritize things, or when they have things coming to fruition in our existing roadmap. So we'll have a collaborative dialogue in a way that when we look at features that are on our roadmap, we've heard what your strategic vision is. We want to see if those things align. We can certainly go into a little bit of the use case, the value that we think it's going to achieve, start to have some of that dialogue, determine if there's anything that's really interesting where the client wants to engage further with the product team. We welcome those discussions. So again, if this is something that you're interested in doing, please reach out to your account manager. We'd love to have them meet with the applicable product manager from my team. We have a lot of fun in these strategy meetings, but it's more that one-on-one basis with the client. that sits outside of that innovation exchange, where it's more of a larger forum with a bunch of clients. So I'd love to schedule these sessions with you. With that said, I am happy to take any questions. Appreciate your time today. Hopefully that was helpful to establish how you can better collaborate with the product team and some of the new feature functionality that's coming from a communication standpoint going into 2021. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thanks so much, Kristen. We'd like to now open things up to your questions. And just as a reminder, to submit a question, be sure to select the general track from the left box to the left of your video. And also while you're there, feel free to complete our poll from that same panel. All right, it looks like we have some questions already in the queue. So first question, Kristen, what is the best way to become an innovation partner?
Great question, and one of my favorites. Really what we want you to do, sometimes we'll proactively reach out to you, but if you've been involved in a product strategy session, or if you've been involved in an innovation exchange, reach out to your account manager if you see something that's really interesting to you that you really want to partner on development with us. And that's the best way to get in touch with us. Or if you feel comfortable or have the product manager's contact information, feel free to contact us directly. But definitely want to go through account management or the product team, and definitely love to collaborate with our clients on those innovation partnerships.
Great, thanks. How often does Medi review our feedback?
I think that is probably, from what I reviewed in the session in terms of submitting feedback on the platform, and product managers will be reviewing the consolidated data bi-weekly or more frequently. So I think we'll probably get to a weekly cadence, but want to commit to that bi-weekly, and so that you get to see that exchange, but definitely at least every 2 weeks.
Great, a couple more questions here. Will we get a reply to our feedback?
In the short term, the product manager is going to communicate with the account management team on any direct feedback items. We have roadmapped some in-app feedback solution that'll be coming to light in 2021 that will allow you to enter suggestions, see progress on those, add comments, vote. We talked about the prioritization, and that's where you're not going to see who submitted that, but if it's something that you would want to see prioritized, you could vote on that, and you'll actually also be able to see it's going to integrate with our JIRA, and you'll actually be able to see if it's in progress in development or if it's in our backlog, and you'll be able to track it through fruition. So we're excited for that to come, but again, for now, we'll communicate updates through the account management team until that's live.
Great, thank you. And you may already have addressed this one, but I'll ask it to see if you have anything to add. Will Medi know it came from me, meaning feedback?
Right. Medi will know. So the results are tied to the user and rolled up into the account view, but that data is only visible for internal Medi users. So it allows me or one of our product managers to say, oh, Kaiser Permanente gave us this feedback. We'd like some clarification. We want to reach out to you. Anybody else who's seeing that suggestion from a client standpoint will not know who submitted it.
Thanks. Another question, can my account manager see the feedback and answers I provided?
Yes, the account manager will be able to see the feedback at the account and at the user level. And this is important just so that we know we have that communication contact point by way, from the Medi internal product manager as well as the client, so that, it wouldn't be a surprise to the account manager when the client's asking for statuses.
Great, thank you. We have one more question in the queue, but if you have others, we do have time, so feel free to submit those. This one says, how can I review the Medi roadmap?
Oh, great question. A few things I'll touch on there. Certainly, if you attend one of our innovation exchanges and in the broader forum, where that's the intent of the entire meeting, we go through some of those items there, and you'll see that if you attend our innovation exchange later today. But on an ongoing basis and off cycle from those innovation exchanges, the account manager can always share that with you. But I would say that to make it more meaningful, we recommend that your account manager would set up a product strategy session if that's relevant for you, if you want to really see alignment with your strategy. So again, at any point, we're definitely happy to share that with you by way of the account manager, but happy to dive a little bit deeper in our roadmaps as well.
Great, thanks, Kristen.
Absolutely.
It looks like that's it for our questions for the session. Actually, we had one more come in, so I will go ahead and ask that one. I have a lot of internal and external users I support. Could I see any feedback from our users?
If you're supporting internal and external, I think we can aggregate some feedback that has come in, and again, do that through the account manager. It's not set up that you'd be able to do that within the application at this point, but that's certainly data that we can pull. We want to make sure that the transparency is clear on both sides, from the Medi standpoint and from the client standpoint. So I'd say, through the account manager and through the product manager, we're happy to pull that together and then provide that on a consistent basis.
Thanks, Kristen. I'll pause for just a moment. All right, we do have one or two more trickling in. This one is, how do we limit the feedback in collaboration if we have multiple user roles?
Great question. You know what? We'll allow it to come through as on that user basis. So it's not something that you might see. We the product team will sometimes roll up duplicates if that exists. When we're going to kind of turn this on, we want to see how much feedback comes in. If we see that it's the waterfall starts, then we'll do some of the consolidating. But when we turn it on, all the users will have the ability to give that feedback. We'll be consolidating them, hoping that clients vote on submissions that are the same as theirs. If not, we'll consolidate that in the background, but we would be turning that on for all users. If we had clients that wanted to limit that on a per user basis, we'd work with them and set that up in security roles.
Great, thanks. It looks like we are done with our questions at this point. So I will wrap things up here. Thank you, Kristen, for your presentation and for addressing all the great questions. If anyone has any additional questions, you can feel free to set up a one-on-one meeting with Kristen or send her a chat during the event, and you can access all of those functions through the event portal. Thank you, Kristen, for presenting today. Thanks for everyone for attending. Enjoy the rest of your event.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.